Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching or listening to us from. This is another episode of the Naija FC Podcast. Again, I'm your host, AyoT, and I have my reliable co-host as always. Yes, thank you guys for joining. Thank you for tuning in. We're still in AFCON mood. It's January of 2024. The AFCON is beginning in just about a week, and Nigeria's first game is also coming up. We, of course, in the last episode discussed Nigeria's group in detail. We gave you our predictions. We went through each match and told you our results. And now, just to do the tournament justice, we want to go over all the other groups, and also make our predictions on who we think is going to win the groups and who we think is going to make it into the knockout round of the tournament. So yes, thank you very much for joining us. Smith Layi, just because we're taking it in order, we'll still start from Group A, even though we've spoken about Group A in the previous episode. For those of you that might not have seen the last episode, Group A contains the hosts, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau, and Equatorial Guinea. So yeah, we said it already. The host Ivory Coast are going to have all the pressure on them, but at the same time, they are going to have the backing of the crowd. Nigeria, of course, 3-time champions, trying to repeat. It's not going to be easy, but at the same time, no reason why we can't get out of the group. Guinea-Bissau, the team that is following us for back nowadays, we're in our group at the last AFCON as well. And then Equatorial Guinea, as Smith Layi called them, what did you say they are the other time?
The Thunders.
Yeah, the Thunders. No, but you said there's a word that you used when we were talking about how they knocked out Algeria at the last AFCON. Giant killers or something like that. I think
killers,
you said. Yes.
Killers.
So Equatorial Guinea are group. I'll just go quickly. For me, I think two teams coming out of this group on top are Nigeria and Ivory Coast. I believe that we're going to finish the group with the same number of points. So first and second is going to depend on who can score more goals, maybe, and beat the other teams better. And then I also believe that Guinea-Bissau will come out of this group as the third place team. What about you, Smith Layi?
So, like I said, in the previous video, that and Nigeria will finish first, Africa second, then I think Equatorial Guinea will third.
And do you think Equatorial Guinea will qualify with that third, or they'll finish third and go home?
I think they will not have enough points to finish third. And just to say this thing, we're recording this podcast Saturday, January 6th. So today, Mali whitewashed Guinea-Bissau 6-2 in a friendly game. So just to back up, I know it's a friendly game, but I don't think Guinea-Bissau we have any points in this.
And Ivory Coast also won big in their own friendly as well against Sierra Leone.
Yes.
Yeah. So our opponents already, one opponent's big defeat, another opponent's big win.
Another opponent, yes.
So yes, that was an interesting one for sure. Okay. Let us move on to Group B.
Yes.
Group B. Group B, of course, Egypt, I think 7-time champions, I believe they are. The most successful team in AFCON history. We know that they've there was a period, that 6-year period, or was it 8 years, that Egypt were just in charge of AFCON. It was as if nobody was even competing with them. They also have our noisy neighbors, Ghana, in Group B. The people that stopped us from going to the World Cup in 2022. We have Cape Verde as well in that group. And then to finalize the group, we have Mozambique.
Yes.
Mozambique. Okay, yes. Smith Layi, go first. What are your thoughts on Group B?
I will start with Cape Verde. They call them the Blue Sharks of Cape Verde, because of the way they are located. So, and if you know Cape Verde very well, they are like the Portuguese colony. They speak Portuguese. So, advantage for them is that their players can go into Portugal easily. So they have a couple of players in the Portuguese league too, but their main player will be Ryan Mendes, the veteran Ryan Mendes himself. So, their best performance came in the 2013 AFCON. So that was a long time ago. But they were looking at, doing well in this AFCON. They are camping in Ghana. So Ghana is very close to Ivory Coast and just trying to actually acclimatize. And also the Egyptians, you mentioned the Egyptians already, they are the pharaohs of Egypt, 7-time champions, You mentioned something too that between 2006 and 2010, no champion in Africa. They were the one dominating African football, and Abu Treka era. And also, they actually appeared in the 26th AFCON. That's actually one of the record appearances too. So their big key player is Mo Salah. Mo Salah is always there. Without Salah, sometimes the Egyptian team doesn't actually really thrive. So Ghana too. You mentioned that the noisy neighbors, not too bad. Where their camp is like a secondary school pitch. But we'll see. We'll see. Because if it's Nigeria, then we know how to slag Nigeria. But we know where their camp is now, like a secondary school pitch. So, and you also mentioned Mozambique. In this group, I think Egypt will top this group. But I think Egypt will find it easy in this group. I think if we top this group, I think Ghana will be second. But that second is very difficult. I'm just thinking that it might be another disaster. Ghana might be going home. But for me, I just want them to be second. Then Cape Verde will be third. Cape Verde will have enough points to qualify from this group. That's my thoughts. And kudos to the members too of Mozambique. They're also in this group too. They have Rafito, as they are one of the key players. They have Ronaldo of Atletico Madrid. So they have players that can actually They have players from Sporting Lisbon. Players that can actually cause opposition problems.
Katamo from Sporting.
Yeah, Katamo from Sporting Lisbon. So, but I still think Egypt will win. Egypt are so good with all this getting job done against African opponents. So I think Egypt will actually win this group. Ghana, even Kudus is not in camp yet now, so it's gonna be hard for Ghana. But I think that Ghana should have like 4 or 5 points to play second. I think it's very better. Mozambique.
No, yeah. I would say, I mean, you've said almost everything already. I would agree with you that Egypt will win this group. I think Egypt will finish the group with 9 points. Mm-hmm. All due respect to Ghana, I think Egypt will have enough to go past them. Like you already mentioned, Mo Salah is going to be their star man. I saw that Jurgen Klopp, jokingly said he wants Mo Salah to come out after a group stage, but I don't think his prayer is going to be answered. I think Mo Salah has said it himself that this is the one trophy that he has not won and he wants to win. Of course, they lost in the last AFCON final against his teammates at the Omane Senegal. So he has that thing in his heart that he really wants to win his AFCON. And like we mentioned, during that spell that Egypt were dominating African football, Mo Salah was watching the legends, win it. And he wants to live up to that standard. I mean, he's already a legend for Egypt. He's already such a fantastic player. But it's like how Messi needed to win the World Cup to just fulfill himself and know that he has won everything. It's the same way Mo Salah needs to win his AFCON just for him to have that satisfaction in his heart that he has conquered, football for his career.
I want to just back you up. He has been to the finals twice. In 2017, when he lost in Gabon, he lost in the final to Cameroon, and also this finals too. So this competition is so important for his career because the next one in Morocco might be his final one.
Right.
So it needs to get for like sake, the Mozambique, they call them the mambas of Mozambique. That's the snakes, so they can bite. So they're also a very dangerous team.
Yeah. Ghana, I think Ghana, they're just as unserious as we are in terms of how they do their things. But I think Ghana, they are also in the same situation as us, in the sense that they have good players on their team. When you go through their squad, the likes of Kudus, they have good players on their team, players that are doing well in decent leagues around the world. But I don't see them going that far. For the essence of group stage, I think that they will finish second. I think that they will qualify from their group. As far as how far they go in the entire tournament, that's yet to be seen. But yes, I would tip Ghana to finish second, and going to the knockout round. And for third place, I'll go with Cape Verde. Would they have enough to qualify from the group? I don't know, because even though I think they will finish with probably 3 points if they beat Mozambique and they lose against Ghana and Egypt. I also think Guinea-Bissau will finish with 3 points. As we go through the group now, I can tell you another country that I think might finish with 3 points. So it's not going to be very easy. I don't know if Cape Verde will have enough, but I think that they will finish third for sure. And then Mozambique, all due respect to them, but they don't excite me too much. I mean, they've not had the best form. I mean, they've won some games in 2023, but they've not had the best form. They had a period in the AFCON qualifiers that they lost 3 matches in a row. So they didn't even qualify so convincingly for the tournament. So I'm not expecting too much. The thing about AFCON is that we're always going to get one or two shockers at the group stage. It's something that always happens. But Mozambique right now, I'm not going to give you guys too much of a chance. Hopefully you can prove me wrong for the sake of your fans. So yes, I would say Egypt first with 9 points, Ghana second with 6 points, and then Cape Verde will finish third with 3 points.
Let me just make my
Okay.
points too.
Okay, go on.
Sorry. So Egypt with 9 points, Ghana with 4 points, Cape Verde with 4 points. Then what's it called? Mozambique with 0 points. Ghana
So
cannot
you
beat
think
Cape
Cape Verde and Ghana would draw?
Ghana cannot beat Cape Verde. Let them go and record it now and go and tell me you want to play the Kumasi and Accra or Takonde and Cape Coast. Ghana will not beat Cape Verde.
Okay, interesting.
And they will come for me in the comment section. Ghana will not
all
beat
due
Cape
respect to Cape Verde, in 2023 they played a 0-0 draw against Morocco, so they know how to hold teams. You know, in the last AFCON qualifying or World Cup qualifying rather, they also played 1-1 with Nigeria. So some people might say, "Oh, it's because they drew against Nigeria that Simila does not think that they will lose against Ghana." But they have it in their locker. They're a decent team. Let's see how that turns out. Okay. Moving on to Group C. Group C, we have defending champions Senegal. Starting out the group, we have Cameroon, another one of our neighbors, but they are not so noisy like Ghana. But we also have Cameroon in the group. We have Guinea in the group as well, and then finishing off, we have the Gambia in the group. I will say, for me, the obvious choice to win this group are the defending champion Senegal. They have, one of the best systems, one of the best organizations right now in African football. They are working with such a plan, and their plan has been successful for the past few years. So I think that they are going to cruise out of this group, honestly. Alusise, their coach, he knows the players. He's been on the job for a while. They have some quality key players like Sadio Mane. They have Nicholas Jackson. They have, although he got injured, unfortunately, Papa Matassa, he would have been another fantastic player. I don't know if he's completely been ruled out or not.
No, he's in the team.
Yeah. He's in the team, so he's going.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, they have Papa Matassa, the new guy for Spurs, who is coming up and is becoming a quality player. And then they also have the Mendy's in their team as well. I think Senegal will have too much quality for the other teams in this group. Cameroon might want to put up a fight, but I eventually don't see Cameroon coming out of this group, rather winning this group or coming on top of Senegal. I don't think that the Cameroonian squad right now is as strong as they used to be in the past. That's just my own opinion. In their last game, they drew 1-1 against Libya. All due respect to Libya, but I don't think that the team that is drawing against Libya is going to come and compete. When they played the international friendly, they lost against Senegal already in October. So coming into this one, Senegal will know that they can beat them. And then in the African Cup qualification, this thing, they were not that exciting to me, So I'm not expecting too much from Cameroon. I do think that they will qualify, but I don't think that it's going to be so easy for them. And then Guinea, I like Guinea. I like a few players on their team. Of course, I think Guirassy is the one guy that a lot of people are going to be watching now. He scored 1 million goals in the German Bundesliga already, going toe-to-toe with Harry Kane. But I think that the rest of their squad might not necessarily be able to drag them over the line. I was saying earlier that there are different teams that I think that can finish the group with 3 points. I think Guinea is another team that I think can probably finish the group stage with 3 points if they're able to get a win against the Gambia. But for me, I would probably go in this group. I would say Senegal finish with 9 points. I will go Cameroon with 4 points. Guinea with 4 points as well. And then the Gambia maybe 0. Or maybe Guinea finish with 2 points and then the Gambia finish with 1 point. But I think Senegal and Cameroon probably come out of this group. And then Guinea, if they end up with 4 points, I think 4 points would be enough for them to come out of the group as third place team. But yes, those are my thoughts on the group. What do you think, Smith Layi?
So you have actually said everything. This is the battle of the lions. One is from Terenga, one is indomitable. So both of them can now roar, and then we see who actually will come out on top. But for me, Senegal has been on the rise. It's really belated for them to win the AFCON the first time last edition. They are becoming close, knocking on the door. but they've eventually won the last AFCON. And it's not just by magic; it's through planning and everything. If you remember the academy, Generation Foot Academy, being linked to Metz in France, and they can, you forgot to mention one player called Lamine Camara. He's the young player of the year in Africa, and he is part of the team that will be going to this AFCON too. So they have players coming in. So as the old guys are trying to pass the baton, the other young guys are sure what's coming. So for Gambia, the Gambia Senegal relationship is like Nigeria Benin Republic relationship. They are too close. Gambia is inside Senegal. So in fact, Nicholas Jackson is from Gambia, but he's playing for Senegal. So there's a lot of relationship between the two nations. So it's gonna be very, very tight. So in that game between Gambia and Senegal, form does not come into play that much because it's like a derby. But don't be surprised to see like a 0-0 draw, or a narrow Senegal win. You get? Don't forget to see that. So, and also the Gambians are called the scorpions. Don't forget any scorpion bites. Now hospital. So scorpions can. So also Guinea, you can't rule Guinea out. They're going to be playing at home next really because they are very close to Ivory Coast. So and they have I'm a big fan of their coach Kaba Diawara, former international. I like his style of play. The good thing about Guinea is that they have a spine that works for them. They have a very solid midfield, of Naby Keita, Ilash Moriba. They have those boys just coming up. They have Cyril Gerassi up front. They have Kamano up front, the former Moses Simon, the former Samuel Kalu's teammate in Bordeaux. They have those players that can actually do well. But
they have Dilovogi.
Dilovogi, thank you.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, in this group, I think the Senegal Lions will be top. Senegal will be top. I think this group have like 7 points. I think the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, going to the AFCON without Brandon Bumo of Brentford, he got injured. I think has been ruled out. And also, I don't think there's any promote in there, So I think all the goal scoring will be relying on Toko Ekambi, and also Vincent Abaka, up front.
The grandfather of Cameroon.
The grandfather of Cameroon. So he's the man that can wear Jalamia to the pop. Is something that I see that Cameroon might finish second in this group. So Cameroon second in this group, Senegal top this group, and I think that Guinea will be third. Please, I know that Gambian people normally watch this video; they will come for me. They will also come for you too because you don't tip them to finish third because they will say that don't use abusive words. But that's our opinion, please. Don't use abusive words. Gambia, we know that Gambia they have good players, but Gambia will finish last. I'm sorry, Guinea will be third. And Guinea will have enough points to qualify for
go through. Yeah, I also think that Guinea would have. I think I'm tipping Guinea to finish with 4 points, and 4 points should be enough to carry them through to the next round. Okay, moving on to Group D. Group D, we have Algeria. Any Nigerian that is watching this video at the sound of Algeria to make them shake small. we have Burkina Faso, we have Angola, and then Mauritania. Let me start. I would say Algeria, quality side. They've not lost a game since I think February of 2023 when they played against Senegal. And or did they even lose that game against Senegal? Yes, they lost on penalties, I think, or something like that. So they haven't lost any competitive match in a very, very long time. They have a quality squad. We all know that. I don't know if I have to start naming names. But I expect Algeria to be able to win this group fairly easily. I'm also going to tip my hat off to Burkina Faso. I think Burkina Faso is a team that, by name, a lot of people always think that Burkina Faso cannot really pose a threat or cannot really pose a challenge. But we see it AFCON after AFCON that they can always put up a fight. Their form of recent has not been the most amazing. They won only 3 matches in the entire 2023. But still, I think Burkina Faso, when it gets to this tournament times, they have a chance of just pulling something out. I like Tapsoba. I think he's a quality player. The one at the defense I'm talking about, Edmond Tapsoba that plays for Bayer Leverkusen. I think he's a good player. They have Isaac Abore that plays for Luton Town as well, who is going to be a good player for them. They have Kofi, their goalkeeper, who plays for Charleroi in Belgium. I think is also a good option. So they have some good players amongst their ranks. Bertrand Traore is also for Burkina Faso, and then they have their coach as well, who is a good coach, the French man. I forget how old he is. He's quite old, with his white hair. But I think Burkina Faso have enough to finish second in this group. Angola, forgive me, Angolan fans. I don't rate you guys. I'm sorry. Judging by your recent form, judging by your performances, and with all due respect to the players on the Angolan side as well, they're not the most exciting or best players in the world. I think they're going to be looking at Mbalanzola, up front to try to provide something for them. And I think Angola will finish third in this group. And then Mauritania, obviously on paper, Mauritania seems like the most obvious choice to finish last. I think Mauritania is one of those countries that can potentially cause an upset at this AFCON. I'm tipping them to potentially cause an upset at this AFCON. If I'm predicting now, I would say Mauritania will finish third in the group. I don't know if they would be able to qualify, but I think that they have a chance of finishing above Angola, honestly. I think Algeria will finish first, probably win every match, maybe 7 points if they are sloppy in their third match or something like that. I think Burkina Faso will finish second. I expect Burkina Faso to finish with at least 6 points. And then I'm going to tip Mauritania to be better than Angola in this tournament. And Mauritania will finish with 3 points. And finish. I don't know if they will qualify, but they will finish third, and I think they will be fairly happy with themselves. And then Angolan fans, forgive me, but I think Angola is going to finish rock bottom of Group D and be knocked out of the AFCON at the group stage. What are your thoughts on this group, Smith Layi?
On paper, the desert forces of Algeria, they're the favorites, I think the Algerian team they are more of a team now compared to the last AFCON. They play together. They got some foreign-born French players to join the team. So they are more solid now. They are trying to replace the aging players like Sofia Fegoli. They're trying to replace those aging players now. They brought in Aura and everybody. So I think they are also camping in Togo. So because they meant business, Togo is Aflao is the border town between Togo and Ghana. Ghana is just a neighbor to Ivory Coast. So they share the same weather and everything. So they want to acclimatize to it. They want this AFCON. Because don't forget that they, after performing so well, they failed to qualify as African champions for the last World Cup, So it was, it was a very bad AFCON performance in Cameroon. So I think Algeria are favorites to actually win this group, and I think they will do the job. I think they will do the job in the group stage. I also think that Burkina Faso, they are one of the most underrated teams. If there's any team that can beat Algeria in this AFCON, it's going to be Burkina Faso. In this AFCON, it's going to be Burkina Faso in that group stage. So I'm thinking that the game between Algeria and Burkina Faso is going to be a draw, but Algeria will beat maybe Mauritania more than the way Burkina Faso will beat them. So that will cause maybe Algeria to have more goals, plus more goals difference than Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, they are a good team coming up, with Bertrand Traore, Dago Tara of Beaumont.
Yeah.
Fantastic team. Even without those household names, even there was a time that they only have this guy, Jonathan Pretopia. But they were still good.
They were still competitive, yeah.
They were still competitive. This Bertrand Traore, his other brother called Alan Traore. There was time that they had him, Alan Traore. They were still competitive. They were still very good. And this man called Issa Kabore, he was playing Issa Kabore, and also this handsome man. It's I'm saying
Banti. Is it Banti? I forget how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, Bang something. Bang something. Yeah, you know the player I'm talking. Yeah, you know I know the player I'm talking about.
Yeah, Aristide Banchi. Yes.
The Banchi. So they have this couple of players. Even if they are playing in the Egyptian league or Tunisian league, they're always very competitive, very good team. So I think Algeria will finish fourth. I think Burkina Faso will finish second. I'm going to go against a prediction now. I think Angola will finish third. I think the Angola team are coming up. I saw them play against Ghana in the AFCON qualifiers. I think that they were fortunate. They were fortunate to lose in Kumasi, to a last-minute goal from Ghana. So I think that they're a team that if you underrate them, they can actually means they can rough undo you. So they call them the Panacas Negras of Angola. And I will never forget Angola, in Nigerian's history. It was a game between Nigeria and Angola that Samuel Okoragi slumped and died at National Stadium in Lagos. And Angola also stopped Nigeria from qualifying for the World Cup 2006. So, Angola, anytime I discuss Angola, is with emotions. So I don't want to say more about them. I wish them best of luck. They're going to finish third. I think Mauritania will finish last.
Okay. Yes. Those are your predictions. Yes. Let us see who gets it right. And of course, for those of you watching and listening, feel free. Let us know your own predictions for each of the groups in the comment section. Okay. Yes. Before we move on to Group E, let me just do a quick ad break. If you'd like to get your Naija flavored merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, phone cases, face caps, and stickers, everything that you might need to represent Naija, to support Naija, make sure you check out our website, eaglestrackershop.com. You can see the hoodie I'm wearing, the cap I have on, and a lot more merchandise available on eaglestrackershop.com. We ship worldwide, wherever you are on planet Earth, even if you're in Antarctica, Alaska, Australia, Nigeria, Cameroon, anywhere you are in the world, we'll deliver it to you as quickly as possible. Many happy customers around the world. So feel free to ask around if you want to get some positive reviews as well. Okay, and back to our AFCON group predictions. We're almost at the end of the groups. We're now in Group E. Group E contains Mali, who of course just beat our own AFCON opponents, Guinea-Bissau, 6-2 today in a friendly. Interesting that the game was 3-2 at some point, and then Mali just decided that we're not even playing with these ones. Let's just score 3 more goals on them. Of course, they have in that group as well Tunisia. Tunisia, Nigerian fans remember well. They knocked us out of the AFCON, the last one in 2021, played in 2022. Of course, unfortunate game. Iwobi got that red card. We got knocked out. They are going to be in Group E. We have South Africa, our opponents in the World Cup qualifying round. South Africa also part of this group. South Africa, of course, making their triumphant return after, a timeout. South Africa going to want to do a job at this tournament. And then rounding off the group, last but not the least, we have Namibia. Smith Layi, what are your thoughts on Group E?
So, this group is another group that, very, very interesting. You have the battle of the Eagles again. In previous groups, we were having battle of Lions. Now it's the Eagles. The Eagles of Mali and the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia. In the last AFCON, Tunisia and Mali were also paired in the same group, and Mali got the better of Tunisia in that same group. So I think that Tunisia, this time around, I don't think they will be able to match Mali. I think Mali will actually edge this game.
And also worth noting that in the World Cup qualifying playoffs, it was also Tunisia against Mali. And Tunisia won to qualify for the World Cup.
For the World Cup. So, it have been friends, just like Equatorial Guinea and Tunisia, they seems to be in the same group all the time. Mali and Tunisia too, always pairing all the time. So it's like a clash of styles because Mali play a typical West African football. Why Tunisia play a typical North African football? So I think that Mali playing against Tunisia in Ivory Coast, I think is advantage Mali. That is me. I think it's advantage Mali. I think that Mali will do the job against Namibia. But South Africa might be difficult, South Africa know how to navigate some of these games. You might be surprised that South Africa might beat all of them in this group and finish top. But on paper, I think Mali will be first. Tunisia will be second. South Africa will be third.
I would say, not to talk too much about each one of them. I think the opening game of their group for Mali is against South Africa, so that's going to be a clash that I think can determine how the group is going to is going to
Yeah.
end up finishing, because obviously whoever loses that game is going to have pressure on them going into the following rounds. But I think I would have to agree that Mali have the most strength in this group. Looking at their record in 2023, they lost 2 matches, but going into their recent form, in their last 5 matches, they've won 4 of their last 5. They've drawn one against AR. So they have form, they have, the quality. I'm going to say Mali probably finishes this group on top. Tunisia, as always, that North African style of football, it tends to pose a problem for other African sides whenever they face off every once in a while. Tunisia, of course, also have decent form coming into this tournament. In their last 5 matches, they've won, I believe, 3 of them. They've lost 2. In their last 6, they've won 4. But the games that they lost were against Asian opposition, in friendlies. So maybe that doesn't even really matter when it comes to this AFCON. Their last games against the African opponents, they've won all 3 of them. I think the friendly that they drew was against Tunisia, rather Algeria, in June
Mhm.
of 2023. And then they
Mhm.
lost in AFCON qualifying against Equatorial Guinea. So that's just another notice for Nigerian fans. The Equatorial Guinea that were playing in our group, they beat Tunisia in qualifying
Yeah.
earlier in the phase in 2023. But at the same time, I think Tunisia, they always have a very good chance. Even if they don't have star players, big names, like the way some other countries do, what they have is that cohesion, is that organization. They play like a team, and they pose a good threat in any given match. I can't remember when we played against Tunisia in a friendly as well, but I think we drew against them, or did they beat us? I don't remember. Um,
Yes,
so
I think
Tunisia,
we drew against them.
it might have been 1-1. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
We
So
drew against them, yeah.
Tunisia have so Tunisia have quality. The Carthage Eagles. I think I'm a bit torn, honestly, in this one between Mali and Tunisia. If I was betting, if I was placing money, I'll put Mali to finish first. But I also think personally that Tunisia, if they're able to pull up, a very quality performance in all their matches, I think they also have the quality to finish first. Maybe both teams finish with 7 points in the group. That's what I would, go for. I would say Mali and Tunisia finish with 7 points. Um, Mali maybe finish on top, because they're going to thrash Namibia. All due respect to Namibia, and I think Mali also has a better chance of beating South Africa. Well, South Africa, I'm going to tip them to finish third in this group. As much as I like South Africa, I just don't think that they have that much quality in their side. I'm sorry to say. In their last 5 matches, they've won 2, they've drawn 2. Um, they of course lost their last World Cup qualifying match against Rwanda. But I mean, that's not to say that because they lost against Rwanda, they cannot compete. I just don't think that this South Africa side in general is as formidable as some South African sides that we've seen in the past. They would want to leave a good account of themselves because, like I said, missing out on AFCON in the past, they want to show that they are here to compete. But you know, I've never been scared of the COSAFA region, if I'm being honest. The teams on that region, I always think that other national teams have more strength than them and can beat them on any given day. But if there's a team that can cause an upset, I think South Africa is one of those teams that has the chance of, shocking maybe Tunisia or even causing a bigger shock against a team like Mali.
Mhm.
Namibia, all due respect to you guys, I just don't see how Namibia is going to come out of this group. When you look at their record in 2023, they won only 2 games. They won against Sao Tome and then they won against Cameroon. They lost all their, well, not all their other matches, but most of their other matches. In their recent friendly against South Africa, they played a nil-nil draw. So maybe that's the team that they'll be looking at in their group and they'll be able to say, okay, we can maybe get 3 points against South Africa since we drew them, in the friendly match. Although South Africa, to be fair, should have won that friendly. They controlled the game. They had more opportunities. They had far more possession and everything. But I think Namibia would want to give themselves a chance against a team that they know that they've gotten a quality or a positive result against recently. But their form is not encouraging at all. In their last 5 matches, they've won only 1 of them. They've lost 2. They've drawn 2. And when you look at their COSAFA Cup and they're losing against a team like Eswatini, you just look at Namibia. What are you really going to give us? in this tournament. If Namibia do qualify from the group, I think it will be a very big upset, a very big shock because of the other teams that are in their group. Talking about Mali, Tunisia, South Africa. So yes, I would go Mali 7 points, Tunisia 7 points, South Africa 3 points, Namibia 0. South Africa finished with 3 points, but I do not believe that their 3 points will be enough for them to get out of the group. I think a team like Guinea will probably finish ahead of them as one of the best third place teams. And I also think that a team like Guinea-Bissau also have a good chance of finishing as one of the best third place teams. So that's my thought, my prediction of Group E. Any final thoughts, Smith Layi?
Yes, you have actually broke everything down. Most about everything. Like, I don't trust the team from Kosafa too. I don't trust the team from Kosafa. I think, I think Mali will have enough to finish this group. They have a very strong midfield of Mohamed Kamara from AS Monaco. Fantastic player. I think Mali will actually finish up in this group. I think so. I just think
Mali have Yves Bissouma.
In Bissouma, yes. So, and they also have Dakore. I'm not maybe Dakore is going. I don't know. So, fantastic team. I think that if there's going to be a dark horse to win this AFCON, it's going to be Mali. To win this AFCON, it's going to be Mali. So, for me, I think Namibia is going home in the first stage. I think South Africa will have enough points to qualify. South Africa can win second in this group, but I think South Africa will be third with 4 points. Mali will finish with 9 points. I think so. Then Tunisia is going to
be how many third place teams? It's 4 third place teams, Abi?
Yes, 4 third place. Yeah,
okay, it's 4 third place teams. So South Africa will probably qualify. Now that I think of it properly, 4 out of 6 groups. It's not that hard to be one of the third place teams. So South Africa will probably qualify as one of the third place teams. Okay. And then on to the final group, Group F. We have Atlas Lions, Morocco, World Cup semi-finalist in 2022. Off the back of that fantastic World Cup performance, they would want to come and show that they can perform at the same level, at the AFCON. Of course, we remember that their ladies got to the final of the last AFCON, and lost to South Africa in the final. So their men this time would want to show that they can also stamp their ground, in African football. Of course, in that group, we also have DR Congo. DR Congo, a team that I think has potential, but also a team that I think disappoints quite a bit, in my own opinion, in my own estimation. We also have Zambia in that group. Zambia is another team that I think is very interesting from the Kosafa region as well, so I don't trust them that much, but they have some good results that they get every once in a while, and you think, okay, maybe this team can do a good job in the tournament. We have to wait and see. Of course, in AFCON qualification, they were paired up with Ivory Coast, who are hosting the tournament, and who are in Nigeria's group. And, they beat Ivory Coast convincingly 3-0 in the AFCON qualifiers. So it could be very interesting to see what Zambia can do. And then rounding off the group, we have Tanzania. Tanzania, on paper, I think they're the easiest team to write off, probably. But yeah, Smith Layi, what do you think about this group?
Well, apart from Ivory Coast, the team that will have a lot of pressure winning this tournament is going to be Morocco. And you ask me why? Because they're like a victim of their own successes. One, they play in the semi-final of the World Cup. Automatically, that makes them the best team in Africa.
Yeah.
So they will want to actually to win this trophy. So I hope that they can actually under the pressure, because they don't seem to perform well in AFCON around these West African zones. So it's very vital they actually be able to handle the pressure very well. They have good players coming for them. Players that play at the World Cup in Morocco, in Qatar. So they have a squad to actually win it. But the pressure, I think, is actually too much on them. Another team here is the Leopards of Congo. A lot of people don't know. They used to be a big force in African football. They won the Nations Cup in 68 and 74. Historically, they're very, very good. But since then, things really actually went down since the war during the Mobutu Sese Seko. They now became Democratic Republic of Congo and things like that. So things really went down for them. But then they are coming up. They missed the last AFCON. Now they're actually coming up with this AFCON. So they also have decent players. They have Wissa from Brentford.
Johan Wissa.
Yeah, Jan Wissa. They have Edric Bekambu.
Cedric Bakambu. Yeah.
Yes, they have this guy that plays
Bongonda.
with Onuachu. Bongonda, thank you. They have the guy from Marcel. What's it called? Mbemba.
Former West Ham guy as well, Masuaku.
I think he's talking now.
Yeah, Besiktas.
Yeah, Besiktas. So they have players that can actually do justice do things for them too. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if DR Congo pull something in this
an
group.
Upset.
Yes.
What would you consider to be an upset? Because if they finish second, is that an upset, or you think they can win the group?
Win the group. Don't forget that DR Congo were played together against Morocco in the World Cup playoff. Yeah. And Morocco got better of them. But I think the DR Congo that lost to Morocco in the World Cup qualifier is not the same DR Congo that we're going to AFCON. And the last one, they call them what? The Taifa Stars of Tanzania. One good thing about this team is that they have a very good local league. And they have Simba and Yanga, playing very well in the local league. So they can peel players from that pool. And don't forget, if you have good players in the local league, competitive, playing together, the chemistry will help.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Taifa Stars can actually do well. They lost at home to Morocco in the World Cup qualifier, if you remember.
Yeah, 4-1, I think. Oh no, in the World Cup qualifiers against what was it? 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
They lost 2-2 or 3-0, 2-0 at home. So in that game, I watched the game. They were totally outclassed by Morocco. So I think that I don't expect anything from the Tanzanian people. The last team here, they are coached by your former boss, Avan Grant, in Chelsea. Chelsea's former forward, Avan Grant. So, he's doing something. You mentioned this clearly here that Zambia beat Ivory Coast 3-0 in the qualifiers. It was a convincing 3-0 victory.
Yeah.
When they were being helped by the goalkeeper of Ivory Coast too. He helped them to that victory because he was making mistake upon mistake. So in this group, it's very open. It's the most open group that anybody can win between Zambia, Morocco, and DR Congo. But me, I will still back Morocco to win this group. I'll back Morocco. I will back DR Congo to be second and Zambia to be third. Zambia will have enough points to qualify for the second round.
Yeah. Okay, so very quickly, you said almost everything, but yes, I would agree with you. Morocco favorites to win this group. Of course, they have the pressure on them of being the best African team ever in a FIFA World Cup. Just coming off that that semi-final defeat. They have some quality players in their team. Ashraf Hakimi, Starman playing for PSG. They have Hakim Ziyech. They have Amrabat playing for Manchester United. They have Nesiri, up front. They have Amin Adli of Bayer Leverkusen in their attack as well. They have El Azuri. They have Mazwari, the Bayern Munich guy. They have Agred, the West Ham defender. They have Roman Saiz, former Wolves player now in Saudi Arabia. They have Bono, their goalkeeper as well. Quality goalkeeper. We saw it at the World Cup. We've seen it in previous matches. Now in Saudi as well, but still a good goalkeeper. So I think Morocco, anything other than finishing top of this group will be a letdown for them, will be disappointing for them. DR Congo, I think DR Congo are most likely going to finish second in this group. I like some players in their team, like you mentioned, Johan Wissa, Cedric Bakambu. They have Gal Kakuta, the former Chelsea guy as well, whose career did not pan out like we thought it would, but it's still a quality player for them. They have Theo Bogonda, former Onuachu's teammate at KRC Genk, now playing in Russia, I think in Spartak Moscow, or one of those teams. So I think DR Congo most likely finish second. Zambia, Zambia is a team, like you said, coached by Avram Grant. They put in some good performances, but I also think that there are some matches that you expect them to be able to pull off results, and then they just disappoint you, like losing against Malawi in COSAFA Cup, like losing against Niger in their most recent World Cup qualifier. For a team that is on the up, that is coached quite well, you don't expect them to get that kind of result. But for the most part, in 2023, rather Zambia were quite a successful team. In the whole year, they only lost about 3 matches. So you have to give them their credit. I think Patson Daka of Leicester City is going to be a key player for them if they are going to score goals in this tournament. Daka is going to have to take his chances. He might not get too many of them, so when he does get them, he has to take his chances. Of course, they have Fashion Sakala as well. Now playing in Saudi Arabia, teammate of Henry Ekuru and Tony Nwakeme at Al Fayha. I think he's going to be a key player for them. They have Emmanuel Banda of HNK Rijeka. I think also going to be a key player for them. So let's see what they can do. Zambia, I think I'm going to tip them to finish third in this group. Maybe it's also one of the teams that is going to snatch a knockout round position despite finishing in third place. And then Tanzania, forgive me, Tanzanian fans, I don't really have faith in Tanzania to do much in this tournament. I think that they are going to struggle against almost every team that they are facing in this group stage. Of course, just lost their most recent game against Morocco. But give them credit. They held Algeria to a draw in AFCON qualifying, earlier in 2023. Their star player, Mbwana Samata, as star as he is, Samata is not one of the deadly strikers that we have going to this AFCON. So I just think it's going to be difficult for Tanzania to really get, even a draw in any of their matches, to be honest. If they are at their best, maybe they can snatch one draw against, I'll say maybe against Zambia. But I'm honestly not too expectant. I think it's going to be difficult for them. So I will say for Group F, we have Morocco finishing with 9 points. I think Morocco will be gingered, will be motivated, and they should brush aside each of these teams with like 2 goals minimum. I think Zambia will finish with, I'll give Zambia 4 points. A win against Tanzania, maybe a draw against DR Congo. I'll also give DR Congo 4 points. And then I'll give Tanzania 0.
Yes.
So yeah.
So I actually agree with you straight away. I think Tanzania, they're one of the weakest team in this group. I don't see them doing it. When you say you're so confident that the team will not really perform, because I've seen them play very well. This AFCON is not really an AFCON. Maybe probably the next edition in Morocco, they can perform better. But I think no. For me, they don't stand a chance of progressing. Them and Guinea-Bissau. Those 2 teams, I'm pretty sure they're going to crash out.
Them and Guinea-Bissau. You don't have any faith in Guinea-Bissau, Sha?
No, I don't have any faith in Guinea-Bissau. I don't think Guinea-Bissau will do anything this time.
Okay. So yeah, there you have it. We've gone through the 6 groups. Going to this AFCON. We won't talk about the knockout stages. We're not going to predict knockout stages. When the group stage ends and we know who has qualified for the knockout, then we'll come back and we'll give you guys an episode predicting the knockout round. By then we'll have the brackets, so we will even predict all the way to final for you and the winner self based on the brackets. But yes, you have to wait for the knockout stages. But Smith Layi, the prediction that I want us to make though before we end this episode, I want us to make our overall AFCON prediction. So we're going to predict the winner of the tournament. We're going to predict the surprise package, the team that we think is going to surprise us. We're going to predict the big disappointment, the team that we think is going to falter at this tournament. We'll predict the Golden Boots winner, predict the Golden Ball winner, the best player of the tournament, and we'll predict the best goalkeeper of the tournament as well. Do you want to start or should I start? Or we can go 1-1.
We can go 1-1.
Okay. So we start with a winner. Who do you think is going to be the winner of AFCON 2023?
The Super Eagles of Nigeria.
I love the confidence. Okay. For me, Nigerian fans, please don't come for me, I beg. Don't come for me. But I think I said it in previous episode as well, that I think my favorites are Senegal and Morocco. I'm going to tip Senegal to retain the AFCON. I know that because they won the last one, I'm probably not going to get this right. Just because they won the last one, they will probably mess up at some points in this tournament. But if I were a betting man, that's who I'll put my money on. Morocco probably losing the final to them. Depends on how the bracket shape up and if they actually face each other before then or not. But yes, I'll go with Senegal as my
It's
AFCON.
Nigeria and Morocco final.
Nigeria Morocco final. Okay. Surprise package. Who do you think is going to be the surprise package of this tournament? The team that will shock us.
The team that will shock us in this tournament, I think South Africa.
South Africa.
Yes.
So let's go deep into that question a little bit. So how far do you think that they can go to make them the surprise package of this tournament?
Semi-finals.
South Africa all the way to the semis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't forget that they beat the host Egypt in 2019. They normally pick results.
Okay. I hear you. I hear that. For me, my surprise package, I'm going to go with Cape Verde. Sorry, Charles, but I think Cape Verde have potential to shock you people at that group stage, and go to the knockout round. Depending on who they face in round of 16, but I think Cape Verde can reach the quarters. I will say they can surprise us and reach the quarters of this tournament. So Cape Verde will be my surprise package. Big disappointments. We cannot go for Ghana. Ghana already big disappointment last time. So who can be big disappointment this time?
Big disappointment in this tournament, I think it's go with the host.
Ivory Coast.
Yes.
So how far do you think they will go that will be a big disappointment? Where do you think they will fall?
Second round.
Round of 16.
Round of 16.
Okay. My big disappointment for this tournament, Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
The indomitable Lions of Cameroon. I know I have a few Cameroonian friends that will watch this video. I apologize to you guys, but people know how I banter you. I don't rate the Cameroonian side, honestly. For all the players that they have, the Toko Ekambis, the Angrisas, the Nkudus, I don't know. I just think that Cameroon always have that potential to just go and not do anything. I wouldn't be surprised if they get knocked out of the group stage, especially because their group is not an easy group. I think Senegal will blow them away, and I think that Guinea have potential to shock them. If the Gambia, also want to be serious, maybe the Gambia can even draw against Cameroon. And even if they manage to qualify from the group, round of 16 is the farthest that I think they can go. So I'm going to go with Cameroon for the big disappointment of AFCON 2023. Okay, Golden Boot.
Victor Osimhen.
I think
yes, go win this trophy. Go Victor Osimhen.
I mean, you predicted Nigeria to win, so yes, that's the only thing that makes sense. For me, I didn't predict Nigeria to win, but I'm going to predict Golden Boot for Victor Osimhen. Osimhen is going to have a lot of pressure on him. I think he's even going to put pressure on himself to go and perform. Of course, at the last AFCON, he wasn't there. So this one, he's going to really want to show himself. After just winning African Best Player, this is the stage that he gets to now show that truly he's the best African player in the world. And I think that Osimhen, Nigeria will get as far as the semi-final in my own estimation. Nigeria will get as far as the semi-final, if possible, the final. So, and even as long as you get to semi-final, it means that you are going to play 7 matches because there's a third place match as well. So, in 7 matches, I think why do you shake your head?
Because I don't want the third place match. That's the match nobody wants to play.
Yeah,
nobody watches.
But I think in 7 games, I see Osimhen finishing his tournament with like 6 goals. I think Osimhen finishes tournament with like 6 goals. So Osimhen is going to be my Golden Boot winner. Golden Ball, who is going to be your player of the tournament?
Player of the tournament, please go Victor Osimhen again.
Victor Osimhen. I mean, if he scores 6 goals, it will be hard to not give him player of the tournament. So I think I would agree with that as well. I think, and Victor Osimhen, you see the trust that we're putting in you, the faith that we have in your ability. Please, I beg you, you have to turn up in Ivory Coast. But I would also go with Victor Osimhen for player of the tournament. Even if Nigeria do not win, I think Osimhen has enough quality to show himself, banging a lot of goals, finish as the top goal
Nigeria will
scorer,
win.
and finish as the player of the tournament. Okay, and then the final one. Who do you think is going to be the best goalkeeper of the tournament?
Best goalkeeper of the tournament. A lot of people would disagree with me with this. I'm going to
Francis
say
Uzoho.
this. It's going to be Francis Uzoho.
That is a big prediction.
Yes.
That is a
It's
big
going to
prediction.
It's going to be like film trick.
That one is a big prediction. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. My own best goalkeeper, I'm stuck. I don't think it's going to be Uzoho. As with like, you would not pick Uzoho in your combined 11, but you think it's going to be the goalkeeper of the tournament. But
I think so. I think something will just happen that will trigger Uzoho, to become like, it's going to be like that Man United game, you will see. It's going to turn to like Jackie Chan, you will see.
For goalkeeper of the tournament, for me, I'm going to go with Bono of Morocco. A big part of it for me, the reason why I'm going with him is not just because I think he's the best goalkeeper. I think it's because he's going to have a fairly easy ride in the group stage. I think he can, if Morocco do a decent job, he can finish the group stage with 3 clean sheets if possible, safe. So I think that's going to give him a little bit of a boost when it comes to these comparisons. If he has 3 clean sheets going to knockout round, Morocco still have a good team, they can win more matches. I think that they can go all the way to the semi-final or the final as well. So I'm going to go with Bono for the best goalkeeper of the tournament. So yeah, just to recap that for you guys that are watching, Smith Layi says his winner, Super Eagles of Nigeria. Surprise package, South Africa, Bafana. Big disappointment. You said the hosts, Ivory Coast, big disappointment. Golden Boot, Smith Layi says Victor Osimhen of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Golden Ball, the best player, also Victor Osimhen of Nigeria. And then the best goalkeeper, Francis Odinaka Uzoho of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And then for my own AyoT's AFCON 2023 predictions, I think the winner, I'm going to go Teranga Lions of Senegal to repeat. The surprise package, I think I'm going. Wait, who did I say for surprise package again? I don't forget already. I said Cape Verde. Yes, Cape Verde for surprise package. I think that they can shock people, especially Charles in their group. I think the big disappointment will be Cameroon, Indomitable Lions. I just don't think that they are going to show us anything fantastic. Golden Boot and Golden Ball, I agree with Smith Layi 100%. Victor James Osimhen of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And then Golden Gloves, my best goalkeeper, I'm going to go with Bono of Morocco. Let us know in the comments your own predictions for this tournament. We're going to post the graphic on social media as well, so that our followers on social media can also screenshot it and fill out their own predictions. And whoever gets everything right, there will be a prize for that person. Obviously, if plenty people get it right, we have to pick one winner. There will only be one winner. We cannot give prize to everybody. Let them not come and catch me that I'm owing them. We cannot give prize to everybody. But any from the group of people that get it right, every prediction correctly will give them a prize as well, from Eagle Striker. And from the Naija FC podcast, of course. So yes, thank you very much, guys. Smith Layi, any final thoughts before we round off this episode?
Support Nigeria. Support Ahmed Musa. Support Alassane Yusuf. Support Sadiq Kumar. Now there were soldiers who are pushing to the wall.
Why is it the northern people that you mentioned?
No, because a lot of people are becoming that I didn't support them. So I just want to mention them out. Support Uzo, support Omeru, support Kavembasi, support everybody, support Aribo. So that, these are Nigerians now, they are soldiers now. And I believe that these Super Eagles will fly.
Amazing. I don't even think I have to add anything to that. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. As always, this has been the Naija FC Podcast. I'm your host, AyoT, and my co-host is
Smith Layi. Keep watching. Really enjoyed you. Keep watching.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, guys.